All right, everyone. Welcome once again to the Faces of Business. I'm your host, Damon Pistolka, and I am excited for our guest today because I have Veronica Lee Jeans, the Shopify Queen. And we are going to be talking about e-commerce made easy with Shopify. Veronica, awesome having you here today.
I'm so excited. I can't, we were talking about stuff before the show even started. So
Yeah. Yeah, we got going and I'm like, "Oh god, we got to start. We're going to be late." And I just looked at the time. Yeah, we're not that bad. We're a few minutes, but
no,
that's all
okay.
right.
Mhm.
So awesome having you here today. I'm gonna get things rolling like we usually do. Ah, Shopify Queen. I mean, I'm just gonna hold on that for a second because you don't see that very often on LinkedIn where somebody just throws the gloves down like that and says, "I am the Shopify Queen."
Well, I'm going to blame my clients because they told me to own it, and they
Yeah.
started calling me that, and they said, "Own it, just do it, right?" Because I teach them to do this stuff, and so I thought, why not? Just go for it and go with it. So
That's that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's go back. Let's uncover why you are the Shopify Queen then, Veronica. Let's go back and talk about your background because you didn't start out in e-commerce, but you've been in e-commerce for a while.
Well, I actually, what? I had a conversation with somebody yesterday or today, I can't remember, but I used to play business when I was 8, 9 years old.
Oh wow.
I used to be the boss, and I also wrote out invoices
Oh
like
wow.
like a grown up, right?
Yeah.
And I was the boss of everybody. So I'm in my element. So yes,
I'm the
and
boss of everybody.
And so,
Love it.
I remember that, and I thought, you know what? I started very young to
Yeah.
try to be in this. I've always been interested in it, and I come from a very small country, Namibia in Africa, and it is literally everybody knows everybody else, and I moved around the world, but I've always been in some or other business,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my before this, I had a recruiting company which I built up into. In about 4 years, we were making about $4 million on international IT engineers with
Okay.
Amex and Verizon, and it was really good. But um, I crashed the company. I have to say that I did crash it on purpose because it wasn't my passion. Because I wanted to do something different. I literally woke up in the morning and I would think, oh no, I have to go to the office. No, I loved the schmoozing. I didn't like my environment because I had, partners and all this other stuff. So I then decided, you know what, I need to create my next career, which is I'm going to sell something online. Yes. And then you have to decide what to sell. And
Yeah.
it is not the easiest thing because everybody does t-shirts, right? That's like the go-to thing. And so I had a conversation with a shopping platform sales guy, and then he contacted me and said, Veronica, can you help these clients? These customers need your help. And I go, okay. And I've been on the internet, I've been in HTML, I used to own my own servers at home where I used
Okay.
to host websites and emails. That's like little part of it. And anyway, then I said yes, and that's how it all started because this guy was sending me customers to help in e-commerce, and having my background in business, I
Mm-hmm.
added that extra little bit of okay, I know about online, I do know how to sell your stuff for your business, and that's how I started, literally.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you're figuring this out, what are when you look at the things that you're helping people sell online, what's one of the strangest things that you've had to help people sell online?
Pipes and clamps.
Ah, like industrial pipes and clamps.
My only industrial client, yes, we sold pipes and clamps and blowers, and I know too much about dust fume mist. Absolutely. I mean, and I come from an engineering background, right? I used to, I was a draftswoman. I used to design reinforced concrete, high-rise buildings and bridges and stuff. So I understand the industrial part, but that, during the research, you have these clamps and weird stuff following you around. That was probably the weirdest.
Wow, that's something. That's something. And
Actually,
we use a lot of it.
There was the magic guy, the old guy that wanted to sell his magic stuff online. That was interesting too.
Yeah. Magic stuff. Yeah, that's interesting. Because it's just, I mean, you can buy anything just about online that you want, and you go, oh yeah, I could sell that. But it's funny how you said everyone sells t-shirts, because that is thing. As the first thing you think about it, and it's like, oh, and then you look at how many other people are selling t-shirts.
Yes.
And then how the changing expectations of buyers now, when you look at some of the large, when you go, okay, t-shirts, yep, I understand a t-shirt, but then when you look at being able to custom design t-shirts the way you can with some of these sites now, and the demands of the buyers just keep going up. They want everything exactly like they want, and move the logo around whatever you want and all that, and it gets so difficult.
And here's the problem with any fashion item, right? Clothes, is they buy it and we all underestimate the size.
Yep.
So you get it and you go, well, I actually put on a little bit of weight during COVID. This is not fitting, and you want to send it back. So that's the biggest thing about selling fashion attire, I would say. They have probably the worst returns of any business that you can find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've thought about that before, like shoes. It's got to be horrible.
Oh, can you imagine?
It's got to be horrible. I mean, I think about it, because I wonder what the return rate is in someone like selling shoes. If they get 1 out of 3 pairs, 1 out of 4 pairs,
that would be interesting.
It's got to be pretty high.
So I had a guy that sold, in fact, I saw the company on LinkedIn, Just Men's Rings. The previous owner was one of my clients, and that was like, it must have been about 9 years ago, maybe even longer. It was one of my first clients. And he was making about $1 million plus at that stage, just men's rings, which blew me away, right? Just one, it was literally one product, but from one product you had thousands, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, in that as well, you have to know the ring size, and then it might be a little bit tight because you maybe put the ring on too tight or something like that. And in any client that I've done business with, their return rate would be maybe 1 or 2%. It's amazing.
Yeah.
People don't send something back. And I've always recommended, there was a huge story. This customer service post went viral because this lady ordered this coat, and she wasn't happy with it, and she was not really happy with it. And they said to her, keep the coat. We will send you another one. I mean, and that's not messing with pennies, right?
Yeah.
That post went viral. And this is what I say to people, is that if you do something really nice to people, I mean, really in the great scheme of things, you losing that one item is not going to tank you. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
But if you are, say, keep it, don't send it back, I don't really care about it, but here is something else for you to use, that will get you a fan. And if you have a fan or an ambassador as part of your program, man, you're done.
Yeah. I've got a client that does that with their products. Is if it's under a certain value, you keep it, and we'll send you a new one. We'll send you a new one, send you a different one, whatever it is. And they just do it as a matter of practice. Don't even think about it anymore. And you look at it, and you look at the financial impact of it, and it's nothing.
Nothing
negative. It's not negative. You don't even measure the negative, but the positive is huge.
Yeah. And so, and we were talking about reviews, and I said to this guy, how many, oh, there was a book. I'm having one person with a book, only with this one person, never again. But he said to me, how many, so I can't get reviews. How do you, just send it out and you get reviews. I said, how many times have you left a review for anything, unless it was a complaint? He said,
Yeah.
Never. I said, you've read how many books have you read? Thousands. How many reviews have you ever left? Nothing. And I went, I rest my case. You have to chase the review. If you do not beg and plead and be very nice
Cajole
and
any other,
you're not going to get it. But I can guarantee you, if they are pissed off with you, excuse my French, they will put it out on the internet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Negative reviews are easy to get.
Yeah, exactly.
And the positive ones are bad. They're much harder to get. I should say they're not bad. They're harder to get, and it's really a shame that the big platform that we won't talk about, they make it very hard for someone that's selling online to even contact a customer about a review.
Oh yes, I know. They own your customer. So here's the secret about Amazon or any of the other ones, right? They won't give you the customer because it is their customer.
Yeah.
What you are doing is you are borrowing shelf space. You're renting shelf space for their customers to walk by and go, oh, I want to buy this, right? I mean, the same if you're in any store, your grocery store. If you walk by, oh man, there's like 10 things of spaghetti. Well, not anymore, but thanks to COVID. And you can choose which one you want. But they are literally renting space. Somebody, past client said, oh yeah, I got into Target. And I go, you don't want to get into Target or Walmart. It's not something to brag about. If you don't have 1 million products in a warehouse to sell, at Walmart especially, they won't even look at you. And the finances and everything. Plus, so here's the caveat. So if your product doesn't sell, you go and you get it off their shelves and you keep it, right? They're not interested.
You take it away.
They're not interested. So you are literally renting space from these big guys. And so you have to work the system. You've got to work the system with Amazon. You've got to work the system with Google, right? Google everybody thinks Google's our friend. Oh no, they're not. You've got to work the system with Facebook, right? Instagram. It is all a place where we can put our products for exposure, but have to remember we have to have our little store, our little base, our nexus, right? And I want to say retail store, but is literally where you can put your bum and this is yours. This is where you can hang out your shingle and it's yours. It belongs to you, right? So that's a shopping platform. But the other things around you is where you actually sell your stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure. So now you're the Shopify Queen.
Yes.
So why Shopify? There's other places, and I'm not saying that we need to talk negatively about anybody, but what drew you to Shopify?
Well, I was with another platform. That's the cool guy that decided to go and cruise off into the middle distance and left me and I go, what?
Okay.
And I was going to either sell, I can't remember, I was going to sell something or do something overseas for a client. And I was looking for a platform that dealt with international businesses and international banks. And credit cards, right? Nobody else did except for Shopify. Shopify was literally the first. And that's why I got stuck on Shopify in the first place. And then what I discovered was that it is so easy to use. I mean, e-commerce in itself is extremely complicated, because you've got money coming in and sales tax and products and blah, 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 lots of stuff. But they make it so easy for a lay person, somebody that doesn't know anything, to literally put something up and I won't say always successfully, but they can actually put a product out there and have this product on a website, right?
Yeah.
And have everything else is intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking about, especially, people tend to want to, I'll go Magento or WooCommerce, it's for free. There's nothing free, baby.
Yeah.
There's always something you're going to pay, whether it's like the platform, but anything else that you have to add to the platform to make it work costs money.
Mm-hmm.
And so Shopify have really made it easy on that aspect, where you do still need your apps, right? We can't do without apps. I mean,
Yeah.
none of the stores are the same and have the same requirements.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes it easy to add your website, your shopping cart, your blog.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have inbox, which is any message you get from Facebook, from Messenger, from Instagram, coming soon, from your website. You get one app that you can answer your customers.
Okay.
So it makes it so easy to be available to your customers and have that personal conversation with them. And then adding things to, so for instance, for Amazon, you obviously have to use an app, and Shopify, and not Shopify, Facebook, you use an app as well, because all these things come in.
Yeah.
And so it just makes it easy to push your products out. I've migrated a lot of clients from WooCommerce, Magento, BigCommerce,
Mm-hmm.
3D Cart. All the shopping platforms are the same. It's how they treat the client, not the customer shopping, but the client that actually uses it to actually increase their sales. Does that make sense?
So yeah, so I'm just going to back up on there for people listening, is that you're talking about basically all the e-commerce, the backside of all these e-commerce platforms, like you just talked about, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, these other ones, are pretty much the same, other than the way that the companies themselves, like BigCommerce, treats and monetizes their customers, which are the e-commerce sellers.
Yes. So, for instance, 3D Cart, I have a little puzzle lady, and customers have to upload their photos, big bandwidth, right? She used to pay at least 150 to 200, and that was 10 years ago, dollars for bandwidth.
Yeah.
It's all included, right? So as I'm saying, even if a shopping platform, you go, well, this is pretty cheap, I'm thinking I'm going to use this. I mean, $30 is not much, but people still balk at paying $30. Hello.
Yeah.
But what they're paying for is all the other services, because believe me, these guys are in the business to make money.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And they're going to make the money. So if they can offer a cheaper service, then there is going to be something lacking that you have to pay somebody else for to make it work the way you want to work.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's fact of business, right?
Well, it is. And you make a great point, because anybody that's building an e-commerce platform like one of these, or a whatever you want to call it, shopping cart, whatever you call it. I use bad words once in a while. Well, literally bad words, and then not the right words, like in this instance.
Yeah.
But, they know how much as a percentage of your overall sales that you should spend on this platform.
Yes.
And they're going to get it one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And they're going to cater to the clients that they think their platform hits the best.
Yes.
And they're going to try to maximize their revenue with those clients. So I understand what they're doing. Exactly.
Absolutely. It's the basis of business, right? We're all in it to make money. As I said to somebody, you didn't really get into business and said, you know what, I don't want to make money. I've done some business to have fun. Yeah. No.
That happens very seldom. That's
I know, for sure. Right? I know.
Very seldom.
Yes.
So as you've been doing this, I mean, the last few years have been crazy for e-commerce sellers.
Oh my Lord. I mean, there are so many that jumped on board, because obviously now you're sitting at home and you're going, what can I do that I can stay at home? And I've always had this little dream of selling t-shirts.
Yeah.
I want to sell something, right? I mean, basically, I always say just start with something. Shopify, and I'll come back to Shopify. I don't know any of that. Most of the other platforms as well have developed so much more over the last 2 years than what they've done in the last 10 years. And believe me, 10 years ago, I had a client that would buy sales stuff from like Neiman Marcus and Target and all these other big stores, put it with an app onto her store, and then sell that stuff. You can't do that anymore because the big brand stores weren't online yet, right?
Yeah.
They really lagged behind the small stores. And so it's changed the whole environment of how to get online, make it easier to get online. And they're always looking at ways to, I mean, there's always somebody going, you know what, I can create a little better system and I can do this a little bit better, right? So with the COVID thing, so many more people have been creating apps and themes and making it easier for you to actually sell stuff online. And especially I'm talking about print on demand, POD, print on demand. Drop shipping is easy, right? You do not have to get stuff from China to sell anything anymore, right? So the US manufacturers and vendors have also got on board to say, hey, we need to be like China and maybe offer customers here in the US to get their stuff in 2 days instead of waiting for 3 weeks. Okay, so you wait for 3 weeks and it costs you a buck, whatever, $1.25. But if you buy it from the US, it'll cost you $3 because it's double, right? Because it's convenient. But business costs money again. I've been in the finance business for a while, and I'm always tell people money is not for free. If somebody says to me, here's an investment, here's money, go and do your stuff with your business, it's not for free, right? So and it's the same. That's the same. So you pay for convenience, you pay for customer service to your clients who do not have to wait, right? So that makes a huge difference.
Well, it does. And just look at, Amazon. If it didn't make a difference, Amazon wouldn't have their Prime program that everybody under the sun pays for. And I get packages almost every day at my house now because of it, right? And you're right. Because just the example you talked about, I can pay a buck something for, even just say $5 for something that comes from China in 3 weeks, or I can pay $10 and I get it, 2 days from now. I'm buying $10 and getting it 2 days from now because I don't have to plan. I can just get it when I want it.
And I think, and so COVID again, okay, back to COVID, how our lives have changed is more people are online, more people are shopping online. Believe me, I'm the online queen. I did not shop online.
Yes.
I would go to my local store and I go, you know what, I can actually buy this on Amazon and get it in 2 days. What's wrong with this picture? Yeah. But so more people have got online or got used to actually shopping online because of COVID, right? It literally forced people into the 21st century and said, hey, people, this is the way of the world. I mean, now we get our groceries online. We order our groceries, even though we go and pick it up, right? It's still online. We can, every DoorDash and all this other stuff. So I think the lives of people have changed so much, which has given e-commerce owners so much more potential. Although, I mean, we talk about the big guy. Amazon is still a huge competition. I have a client that sells African stone art, right? And they're in Zimbabwe. They had to go back to Zimbabwe. So I'm literally packaging and shipping the stuff out because, unfortunately, the warehouse is around the corner from me. This is not my dream job, but we've just got on Amazon, and somebody said, well, it's not really a big department, and maybe you won't sell so well. And I really thought about it, but I had a conversation with a customer, and I called them. We emailed, we called again. He said, you know what? I want to fly down from wherever it was, Nashville or something. He was going to fly down, have a look at the sculpture, which was $2,500, and fly back, And eventually he didn't, and then he just bought it because we had such a good conversation. But he said, I didn't know whether you were just a fake African company that would screw me out of money, right?
Yeah.
And so Amazon is going to give us that, hey, these people are legit, although there are lots of scammers on Amazon, right? We know that.
Yeah.
But perception is, hey, these people on Amazon has accepted them, right? And maybe they are legit. So it'll make the transition of customers, even though we don't get the customers' names and anything, we just get, hey, here's your stuff. It'll make that transition of trust that we need for our little website.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that is that the Amazon does kind of give you credibility in the marketplace.
I know. And they have actually shed thousands of spammers, thousands. And so if you apply for an Amazon seller account, they will check out your where you live or where you're doing business from. Amazon truck, I've discovered, actually comes and checks it out and gives you a card with a code on it. They can also do a video conversation with you. So you have to actually show your card, your ID card. So they're getting a lot more, which is good, right? Because they started getting a reputation with e-commerce owners. I don't want to be on Amazon because somebody's going to rip me off, or Amazon's going to rip me off. I said, happiness is Amazon rips you off and you sell more products. Hello.
Yeah. Well, and you make a good point. I mean, they're a behemoth, and it's hard for them it's hard. It's hard when you look at things on Amazon. Like if you're selling if you're somebody that's a reseller, there are so many bad listings. People don't understand that if this pen has been around for 10 years, there's probably 100 listings on Amazon that are old and not good anymore, shut down, but you can still find them as a reseller if you're authorized to sell this pen, and you put that listing up and you won't sell a thing because it's not right, or it's going to say that I sell 1,000 of them in for the price of one or something like that. And just matching some of those things is terrible, but they have a heck of a job to clean things up. And then when you look at the other thing that's happening a lot now too, is because we've got clients that are resellers, but if I'm authorized to sell a brand, Amazon's been shutting people down because, hey, you're not authorized. Well, I am authorized. Well, you have to get all the paperwork and and I understand where they're coming from. It's just a tough job to do.
Yeah. I've got a little retail sports store here, boutique, and they sell girls hockey gear. And so they sell Under Armour, Nike, and they actually have the products in their store that they bought. So with this new wave of Amazon cleaning shop, literally, they had to prove their authorization, because otherwise anybody can sell it. And these big brands said, no more. You have to be authorized to sell our stuff, which was normal. If you had a retail store, it was normal to get authorization. You can't just sell anything or any brand that you want to, right?
Yeah. And another thing too is, along with that, is the MAP, minimum advertised pricing too, that some of the brands have. And the policing of that now is getting implemented properly, so that you don't have, like you said, discount sellers. Like you said, I can't go to Neiman Marcus and buy something that's discounted down to nothing and sell it, half of what it normally would be, and getting those things taken out. But super interesting stuff. So let's talk a little bit about, so you started getting this, you've been helping people a long time with Shopify and getting Shopify. Then you decided to write a book, and then it turned into a series, and now you've got updates. So let's talk a little bit about your book. Well, first of all, if people don't know, they need to look you up. Veronica Lee Jeans, you're author, consultant, lecturer, speaker. I mean, you're out there teaching people about e-commerce, and then you decide to write a book. Was it a series in the beginning, or did you decide to write one book and then it's like, oh, I have to write more?
Yes. So what happened is I've got a course. Obviously, every coach has a course.
Yeah.
And I decided I'm going to write this book. And then it happened because I was at a speaking engagement, and these chicks were getting so much attention, and I thought, what the hell? I want attention too, by the way. So I said, I'm going to write a book about Shopify because that's what I know.
Yeah.
And I started writing the book, hello, 30 days. Yeah, that never happened. So 9 months later, because, you have to learn how to format and literally how to write.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I published my first book. And I was writing it. And this friend said to me, Veronica, stop writing and publish, because I was already at 500 pages in a Kindle, the ebook. And I thought, oh, this is getting a bit big. So I cut it in half and I published. And that was my first book. And then I decided, and then COVID happened, right?
Yeah.
And then things changed so drastically. I actually teach at a university in Poland virtually. I teach e-commerce and SEO. That I was in a class and the whole interface of Shopify changed as I was teaching. It's like, boom. I thought, oh, something happened in my browser, right? And it was literally, they were updating the platform as we were speaking. They have changed so much. And then I realized, okay, this is not going to work. I have to write the update.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided, okay, so if I write the update, and by the way, then I had a hiccup because all my things were wiped off my hard drive. I should know better, as an IT person, I should know better. Anyway, and so I wrote the update. And then I decided, okay, this is it. I need to write more because I was actually starting to enjoy the selling part.
Okay.
Because, when I started, it was just an ebook. And here's a secret, right? If you sell ebooks, Amazon only pays you for the amount that people read. So that's yes, exactly, right? So exactly. I want to smack everybody who doesn't read my book. Just push it to the back. And so, it wasn't a lot of money. It was a few hundred coming in now every month. And then I decided I need to do the print version, because somebody was asking me, hey, do you have a print version? And I said, okay, I'll do the print. And then the sales really started happening, because the ebook was so comprehensive, and I've got so many images in there and step for step, right, that it made sense just to get the ebook out, the printed book. Mm-hmm. And then the excitement really started. So, I was getting a few hundred every now and again. So when I started the print book, I thought, I said to my husband, you know what? I sold 2 books last night. And this is exciting. I sold another book. This is very exciting. So that's how I thought, you know what? I think I can actually make money out of this. Mm-hmm. And then, the back thing is that if you write a book, you're not going to make money immediately, not with your first book, unless you not even Harry Potter did, whatever, J.K. Rowling's, right? She had to write a whole series, right?
Yes.
But you start making a book with your other books, because people start to get to know you, and it's like, so I had my first book up in Amazon. Then, when they say, hey, if you buy this and this, mm-hmm. right, the suggestions, I thought, what the hell? This competition, they're selling my competition with me. I do not like this. So that's when I decided I need to write more books so I can beat the competition.
Wow.
That's how it happened. Yes, I know, right? Totally the wrong way around.
No, that's a good way. That's a good way. So how many Shopify Made Easy books have you written so far?
So I've written 4. Obviously, the one doesn't. I don't really count the first one, but with my first one, I've written 4, and mm-hmm. I've got a Shopify Made Easy workbook and checklist, which also happened because a client asked. And then I decided to do an e-commerce planner again, a requirement from a client who said, "I need a plan. I said, just listen to me and do what I tell you." She goes, no, I need a plan. So I created the e-commerce planner. And so I'm busy with my 4th book in this series. So I don't count the first book.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And are you planning on writing more books in this series?
Oh, yes. There are 7. So after this comes the process, because the process is not easy. I get so many questions about, okay, shipping it, but how do I refund it and then change it and then do this, right? So if I get a problem with a client, I immediately do a screenshot. I write everything down. So I have a process. That's going to be the process, because if you don't have you know that, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have a good process in place, you're not going to be successful in business, right? Because it's all about
I just had that conversation today with one of our clients. We were talking about process. Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to this, they made about 3 to 4 million, which is not a lot, believe me, not these days, not with the overheads and everything else. And I said, okay, so how do you get your orders to the warehouse? Oh, we print it out and then we walk it across. And I go, you're kidding me, right? You're kidding me. And that was throughout the whole conversation. I would go, you're kidding me, right? And they're not the only ones. I've had several of these conversations where you go, seriously, this is what you do? You know, it's just mind-boggling. So that's the process book. And then I'm going to do a point of sale, which I set up several retail customers with. Shopify have a point of sale where you have a retail store, you can have an online store. You do not have to have the very, very, very $500 a month app that is between QuickBooks, point of sale, and your online store. And then what else was there? There was another one. I can't remember. I can't even remember what book I'm writing now. So I get so confused because I'm promoting my books all the time. That you're supposed to do what you have on hand with all your products, but you have to start working on the next product, right? To make that another launch, to make your customers excited, and so quite a few of them.
Yeah, good. So as you've been doing this, what's some of your best success stories that you've seen working with clients?
Well, best success stories, I would say, well, my puzzle lady. I've got several. My puzzle lady, she was like, her product was discovered by what's that TV show in the morning, Good Morning America, right?
Okay. Yes.
And they have that, hey, you buy this product. So she was on that show, and she had about 150 sales, which is not a lot, right? And so 2 years ago, in fact, COVID just happened, and she was on that show again for Mother's Day. She had 385 sales in an hour.
Wow.
She was printing puzzles forever. She literally had to tell people, I can't get this out. The TV people, they go, hey, this is Tuesday. You can have it by Sunday. No, that's not going to happen. So,
yes.
But she did her damnedest. I mean, she tried to get those things out. She worked 18, 24 hours. She got neighbors to help. And so that was one. And then my boutique lady, she was like online, and we got her POS system online. And I kept saying to her, you can sell more online, you can make some more money. And she was doing really well. It's too much effort. So I made sure that her shipping area was cool, that if they get a shipment, they know what to do. Everything's in place. All you have to do is wrap it up. I don't need that. I'm doing fine. COVID happened. Everything shut down. And there was this panic call. Oh my God, I need to be online. And I go, yeah, you are online, actually. She has made more money online than what she's ever done offline. And I can guarantee that with every retail customer I've ever had was the same thing. They made more money online than what they did offline, because you've got so much more potential.
Yes. It was so funny that you said that. I was in of all things, a specialty liquor store in a little town out here in Washington. And when I walked into this liquor store, it is like, I don't know, close to 10,000 square feet. They have a 3,000 square foot wine cellar. They have some of the choicest liquors you will ever find in the world in a little town of like 30,000 people
Yes.
way out in the country.
Yes.
They sell 3 times as much online
Yes.
as they do through the store,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it allows them, they're community people, and it
Yes.
allows them to have a wonderful place. They have a restaurant with it. They have other stuff with it. And it
Yes.
just allows them to operate such a wonderful business, like you said. And again, another example of it is a little kitchen store that a friend of mine, they're crazy, you know, they love cooking, chefs, all this kind of stuff. And their favorite kitchen store, you walk up to it, it looks like a little shoebox. And you realize again, they're selling twice out the back door on e-commerce as they are through the store, through the actual physical store itself.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to see this, because my point is, it allows little local hometown businesses to compete. And you go, where, I mean, because I grew up in the middle of South Dakota in a town that had less than 500 people in it.
Yes.
I know what it's like to be in a little town, but in today's world, that town can have a bakery, not bakery might not be the right thing, but I can have a kind of store that sells e-commerce, and I can do very well from that spot.
Yes.
Almost as well as I could anywhere else in the world.
Yeah. And I've got a couple of food clients as well, chocolates and cookies and stuff. But here's the great thing as well. People keep saying, you know, buy local. The e-commerce stores are supporting the local communities because they need the IT services. They need the whatever services, accounting services, or whatever they need. They supporting the local community because they're more successful online.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's so cool, so cool. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's exciting for me to see that. And then you know, I've interviewed Harry Mosier, he's part of the U.S. Reshoring initiative, reshore manufacturing jobs in the U.S. And you brought up a great example of the fact that if we are using U.S. manufacturing in some of these e-commerce for print and go or for faster delivery, it's less expensive. And well, you can the convenience, you can sell it at a higher margin, and B, it's less expensive because the expense in inventory and supply chain challenges like you have today makes it much easier for you to run a business. So it's really cool. It's really cool. So now so you're going to have some new books coming out. What else is on the horizon for you?
On the horizon, I don't know. I'm just very excited because new things are happening all the time. But I do have one thing on the horizon. I was talking about the why in one of my lives on Monday. You got to know your why, right? Why are you in business? My why is I'm going to be in the Bahamas next year, baby.
Nice.
Yes, I'm going cruising. So I'm preparing my business to be, well, it's always been online, right? But it's going to be more online, and I'm going to go cruising. That's my dream forever, mine and my husband's, and we are refurbishing our boat, and that's what's going to happen. But
that's awesome.
Life changes so fast these days. You know, I have to update my books. I will have to update my books every year, and that's just a fact of life when you are dealing with internet, with online. And that's what makes it exciting, because I can relaunch every single year. I'm so excited about it.
Yes. And in fact, you bring up a great challenge in the e-commerce industry is how do you evolve the materials as fast as the digital world is working ahead of us.
Yes, exactly.
It's really something. We were working on e-commerce training last year, not platform specific, but e-commerce training. And that was one of the things that we thought was really interesting about the approach of more live stream topic focus, because you can't keep up. Like you said, you were teaching Shopify and it was changing before your eyes while you're teaching it at school. And you think of the traditional educational method of we set up a curriculum and we do this and we do that year over year. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work
anymore. No, exactly.
So that's awesome then. So Veronica, I so appreciate having you on here today. I want to ask you one more question though, because I think I talk to a lot of different people in e-commerce, and of course there's people that do humongous e-commerce websites that are hundreds of thousands of dollars and all that kind of stuff. And there's applications for both, but when it comes to Shopify, where is really where you see from practical experience the best place to be using it? I mean, is it a certain industry, a certain size of business, certain SKU count, or is it really branched out a lot more than that?
Oh, Staples is on Shopify. I rest my case. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I rest my case. I can recognize the Shopify store now just by looking at it, and there are huge brands on Shopify, and baby ones as well, obviously, because all the little ones are, but they are, because they recognize the what I call the $1 million club. When you're in the $1 million club, then you get real support from Shopify. They have an onboarding system. I work with them on a regular basis, and then so you really think about the whole process, and you have this whole team behind you to actually get it going. So yeah, there's no limit, baby. No limit.
Okay. That's good. That's good. I'm glad we talked about it. I didn't realize that Staples was on there, but but it is. I'm telling you, like you talked about this before.
Yes.
The website, and then you go, okay, I have to add this part of it, and then I have to go to integration to this platform, integration to that platform. Now I want to get different payment options. Like I want to get a PayPal, and I also want to do credit cards or whatever. And then you go, oh, now I have to worry about fraud. I have to add fraud protection in somehow. And it's just so many different.
All in there. It's all in there, literally.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you see with a lot of other solutions is you've got to piecemeal all these things together
and think about it, right? You got to actually think about it. I need to do this fraud thing as well. So and so the newest thing they have is you can actually get a business loan as a small business from Shopify as well. I mean, the owner has really thought about what I find, and I've worked with another small shopping platform that grew, and I was with him for a long time. This guy, Shopify, is really thinking about customer service. The customer service is amazing, and he's thought about the small businesses, not just the big ones, right? How can I make this better for my customers? And he does. I mean, he's on the forefront. Hey, talking to Google, talking to Facebook, talking to we're on TikTok now, so he's just ready to jump into the next thing to make it as easy as people. And he's got they started a wholesale site. So if you've sold stuff, I think for a year, you've got to be in business for a year, and it has to be a certain whatever is a certain category, because they don't have everything. You can be part of this wholesale site where other small businesses can supply. Yes, I know, right?
Yeah. Well, it's helping other people get into business because they can buy the wholesale products and resell them. So cool. And maybe even t-shirts.
I know. Actually, you know what? I've been designing t-shirts for my baby, so I'm actually going to put them online because I'm an artist as well in my side job.
With all your extra time.
Just my love of doing just my extra time, right?
Yeah. Well, Veronica, it's been awesome having you on here to talk about e-commerce made easy with Shopify, talking about how really Shopify is really making e-commerce easier for a lot of people. And like you said, it's not just for little businesses anymore with Staples being on it and some of the others. It's a consideration that a lot of people might want to be looking at. So thanks so much. And I want to thank everyone that's been listening today. Thanks for being here. So if people want to get a hold of you, Veronica, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
I would say go on my website and hit the button and say, hey, Veronica, I want to talk to you. Because I literally get your email and I will talk to you.
Awesome.
That's the easiest way. Or find me on Facebook. I'm always on Messenger. Or LinkedIn, right? I'm always at talk. I'm available anytime. I'm around, baby. That's what you have to be.
Yep, you certainly do. Well, today we had Veronica Lee Jeans talking about e-commerce made easy with Shopify. Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. We will be back again later with another interesting guest.